Martin Lewis has the latest energy news for us at 8 o'clock tonight. Now though, the STV news at 6.
Tonight, a political giant laid to rest. Tributes are paid to Alex Salmond at the former First Minister's funeral.
He'll be remembered as the most outstanding politician, not just of his generation, but for many past generations, and perhaps also for several generations to come.
We'll be live in Strichen. Also making the headlines, a damning report on children's care. One father tells us his daughter suffered untold trauma while at a Scottish facility.
I've been speaking to businesses ahead of tomorrow's budget to find out what they want to hear from the Chancellor.
And in sport, Rangers boss Philippe Clement says Connor Barron can handle the heat on his Pittodrie return. I'm Kellyanne Woodland. This is the STV News at 6. Good evening. An outstanding political figure and political genius. One of the many tributes paid today to the former First Minister Alex Salmond as his funeral was held near his family home in Aberdeenshire. Close friends and family gathered for the private ceremony in the village of Strichen. It comes more than 2 weeks after his sudden death in North Macedonia. Stephen Brown reports.
In the quiet Aberdeenshire village that became his home and draped in the saltire, Alex Salmond was today laid to rest. While a giant of public life, this was the most private of ceremonies for family and close invited friends. Among them was the former House of Commons Speaker John Bercow, former MP Joanna Cherry and former SNP ministers.
I tried to get across the sense of what it was like being with Alec, because unlike some of politicians today, he didn't just speak to people when the TV cameras were on. He relished speaking to folk, whether it was duke or dustman, king, or the most humblest citizen in the land. He loved to meet people, and he spent his life, and indeed gave his life, to helping people in Scotland.
For his family, he'll be remembered as a loving husband and a loving brother and brother-in-law and uncle. For the political family in Scotland, he'll be remembered as a titan of Scottish politics, probably the biggest figure for the last 100 years in terms of taking Scotland forward in terms of constitutional change.
After the service, the cortege made its way through the village of Strichen towards a nearby cemetery for a private burial. Locals and some who travelled specially stopped to pay their respects to a former First Minister, but for many also a neighbour.
You couldn't help liking him straight away. He was bright, he was intelligent, he was witty, he had a sense of humour. His politics, I wasn't associated with him in relation to politics, because I know nothing about politics.
I had to be here. I knew Alec for many years. I was part of a campaign that Alec helped us immensely with.
Well, he was a great leader, basically, and I think he'd done a lot for Scotland.
Alex Salmond died more than 2 weeks ago while attending a conference in North Macedonia, and for those who knew him, today was also a chance to remember a remarkable political figure.
We were at school together in Linlithgow over 60 years ago, and we've been comrades in political arms for 45, so we've been on a journey together, but it's a journey that he was always in command, always at the helm. He was at ease on any stage, often outshining the company, whether they were monarchs, heads of state, business or trade union leaders. He really was a remarkable man.
Since his death, tributes have been paid across the political spectrum, and today flags at the Scottish Parliament were lowered to half-mast as a mark of respect.
As this is the first occasion on which I have addressed Parliament since the death of Alex Salmond, I wish to record my sadness at his passing and express my sympathy to his wife Moira and his family at this time. I will move a motion of condolence in Parliament tomorrow.
Alex Salmond dominated public and political life in Scotland for years, but today was for those who knew him in private, a chance to remember a former First Minister, family member and friend.
Well, Stephen is in Strichen for us this evening. Stephen, a very private funeral for a very public figure.
Yes, and of course there were some well-known faces who did attend here, some well-known previous political friends and allies, of course, who were not here, and that is because, of course, this was a private ceremony. Very much only those who were invited to attend came to this ceremony. A very difficult day for Alex Salmond's family, a difficult and emotional day, as you can imagine, for his wife, Moira. Alex Salmond was a big public figure, the biggest of names in Scottish politics, and yes, while there were controversies around him in recent years, few could deny that he left a mark and legacy on the country, and his place in history is pretty secure. Certainly for those who've attended here, they say they know how they will remember Alex Salmond. Now, we expect some kind of public memorial service to take place in the coming weeks, details of which are yet to be fully announced. And tomorrow in the Scottish Parliament, we expect more tributes to Alex Salmond.
All right, Stephen, live from Strichen, thank you. On to other news tonight, and a damning report